And I mean this when I say this, like, this, so if Caitlin Clark gets a job, Caitlin Clark is not allowed to get a job with NBC. Otherwise, it's something's wrong because, you know, why could X, Y, or Z other player not have gotten it? Anyone else is allowed to get their flowers. Like, you better believe when AJ Wilson got her Time magazine cover, when she won the Athlete of the Year, whatever it was everywhere. It was absolutely everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And nothing, no flaw, no problems, nothing. When AJ Wilson gets her shoe, no problems. When Caitlin gets her shoe, she's not allowed. When Caitlin gets Rookie of the Year, it's actually...
The announcement of Caitlin Clark's NBC debut went viral online. Her impending appearance on an NBA program was celebrated by the WNBA itself in a post, which is a major step for visibility. However, what followed next, music, was genuinely unheard of. The league removed the post because they were so overwhelmed by the quick and severe reaction. Music, the news about their top talent switching to a major network was removed. This wasn't simply a misstep. It was an act of retraction. Music, a stunning move that left fans absolutely speechless and ignited a whirlwind of debate throughout social media. The utter silence that followed the rubber suggested a larger problem within the sport itself. What particularly led to such a dramatic and sudden surrender?
And nothing, no flaw, no problems, nothing. When AJ Wilson gets her shoe, no problems. When Caitlin gets her shoe, she's not allowed. When Caitlin gets Rookie of the Year, it's actually a whole bunch of racist voters. When Caitlin Clark makes all WNBA first team over Sabrina, apparently it's because of racism. Like, it just makes no sense. Caitlin Clark gets a triple-double. Oh, let's make up a story that there was fake noises in the stadium. Like, Caitlin Clark destroys Angel. Let's be real. As much as we joke about the that bitch perfect tweet, when Caitlin Clark dropped a 40-point, 1 rebound off a 40-point triple-double against Angel Reese to beat LSU in her senior year.
The first problem was that Caitlin Clark was ever given permission to work for NBC Music. The speaker argues that if she, Music, isn't, then something is badly flawed. They highlight how other athletes, like Otto Wilson, received widespread acclaim for achievements like a shoe contract, Music, or a Time magazine cover without any controversy. But for Clark, every achievement is met with a torrent of condemnation. This double standard leads to an aggressive suppression of her expanding profile, which benefits the entire league. The criticism reveals a widespread dislike of her accomplishments that transcends conventional sports rivalry. When Music, a league intentionally opposes its own biggest attraction, what happens?
When Caitlin Clark dropped a 40-point, 1 rebound off a 40-point triple-double against Angel Reese to beat LSU in her senior year, if you guys don't know, the first thing that happened was everyone started searching her social media to see what if she'd said anything to try to cancel her. Like, it's nothing to do with basketball. Like, it's funny because nothing's there, but it's never anything to do with basketball. Like, Kate, you are not allowed. And by the way, the league caving to this is weak. Is so weak. It's an embarrassment to sports. It's an embarrassment.
The speaker talks about a disturbing trend happened when Caitlin Clark won Rookie of the Year and was selected for the All-WNBA first team instead of Sabrina. It was referred to as racism. Due to absurd accusations, Music, like the stadium's fake noises, even her triple-doubles, are under scrutiny. Her athletic prowess is constantly disregarded, in contrast to other celebrities. Music, there is a persistent effort to downplay her achievements, which goes beyond helpful critique to an almost conspiratorial endeavor to harm her reputation as a performer. Some of these accusations are so absurd that they reveal a pervasive animosity that goes far beyond basketball. Music, why is her accomplishment so dangerous?
Is so weak. It's an embarrassment to sports. It's an embarrassment to women. It is because it is proving every fucking negative stereotype people have about women's sports correct. It's proven that it will never be taken seriously. The league itself, by the way, there is a world where the league can outgrow an incompetent media within the league. And we saw that in 2024. We did see that in 2024. The league can outgrow it because, let's be real. Like, I don't think everyone's complaining about Elle Duncan. I don't think Elle Duncan shows that bad.
You may remember the infamous Buck Perfect Music tweet incident when Caitlin Clark scored a 40-point triple-double against Angel Reese and LSU. The first reaction wasn't off for her performance. Rather, individuals hastily looked through her social media accounts in an attempt to uncover anything that would allow them to cancel her. This obsessive dirt digging shows a troubling tendency that has nothing to do with her skill on the court. Pessy, it's never about basketball, music, it's always an attempt to undermine her character or integrity. This thorough analysis that is unique to Clark draws attention to a more widespread social issue in women's sports music, where a rising star is scrutinized right away for non-athletic reasons. What is the true intent behind this continuous character assassination?
Was you have to hype everyone, otherwise you can't hype anyone. And then because Caitlin Clark brought in people that were willing to talk about this like the sport, the argument then became you can't praise Caitlin Clark because praising Caitlin Clark is in fact putting down players of colour. And I'm like, what relevance is that? Like, I remember literally my all-W first team last year. I think I can't remember what I said. I said something like the only reason Brianna Stewart is on the first team, will be on the first team over Caitlin Clark. Sabrina Ionescu will be on the first team over Caitlin Clark is if you're you just want to prove a point.
The speaker, music, draws no punches, calling the league's submission to this constant negativity weak and an embarrassment to sports. Music, they claim it proves every negative perception people have about women's sports and ensures it will never be regarded. Music seriously. This is a harsh criticism that indicates the league is harming its own potential by giving into outside pressure instead of standing up for its players. This personal betrayal validates critics who claim that women's music sports aren't as serious as their male counterparts. This self-inflicted harm jeopardizes the core underpinning of the WNBA's expansion aspirations. Music, when a league can't even protect its own stars, how can it expect respect? Dating an NFL player. Like, there's a reason why one is preferred over the other. It just makes no sense. It is nonsensical. The league is actually stepping up its efforts on this. When I say that the league has literally given free VIP passes to people who have threatened music to show up to games with a gun and shoot people they've gotten into arguments with online, and the league has posted things promoting these people music like we are crazy. Like, the league once again gave media credentials to someone who called Caitlin Clark the _music. Ironically, the speaker notes that the league was able to outgrow some of its inadequate media in 2024. The WNBA was formerly respectfully covered by respectable media outlets and sports, music programs, and it was talked about as a legitimate sports league. In addition to the internal media issues, this suggests an earlier possibility for autonomous development. It wasn't just about Caitlin Clark. Players like A'ja Wilson were then deservedly hailed for their extraordinary achievements. This historical context demonstrates how a league with music sports first integrity could become widely accepted. What transpired to reverse this advancement and send the league back into internal strife? Players in his league. Taking the sport, music, seriously is embarrassing, and the league will never be accepted seriously. The league was taken seriously in 2024 because it had a bubble. The bubble burst, and now we're going wild because if this kind of __ was occurring in 2024, there would have been at least some kind of fan base to protest. Now that music fan base is gone because, let's be serious, let's face it, people's time and attention are valuable, and all they're doing is getting more and more people to ask why they __ would I want to spend time focusing on this league? That's all they do. This league has only done that. Additionally, they believe they're worth more money than they actually are. They wish to enter into an agreement wherein they will be compensated. Ironically, a terrible shift, music, in the internal media narrative resulted from the rise of Caitlin Clark, who brought in a new breed of fans and sports pundits ready to take the league seriously. The old maxim, you have to hype everyone or else you can't hype anyone, was replaced by you can't praise Caitlin Clark. It appears that complimenting Clark was seen as insulting players of color, which is why this new rule was made. This ideological straitjacket stifles genuine sports discourse and fosters an untenable atmosphere where admiring greatness is considered insulting music. It's a strange turn of events that deliberately penalizes the very focus the league so much needs. How did the narrative become so twisted? Players to strike. And I have a suspicion that the reason they want musicians to go on strike is that, as long as the league and players are continuous victims due to their ignorance of basketball, they will continue to work. In the media, they don't give a damn about basketball. The players do, of course, but the non-basketball focused media will promote and encourage the players to go on strike because, as in 2023, if the players go on strike and music, whatever makeshift league there is in women's basketball, token money will be thrown towards that when no one is watching. And there's going to be a bunch of these media gigs where, let's be music real, Annie Costa paid out of her own pocket. She paid out of her own cash. And that's how it will return to the need for anyone to cover it. In order to make a point, the speaker recounts a previous WNBA first-team forecast in which they claim